Hello and thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be doing another of MamaKat's YouTube tags. This is the Storytime tag and I haven't read the questions, so let's get cracking. Number 1, talk about a time that you lied to a parent. Okay, me and my sister had one weekend when we were little when somehow we saw my mum, my dad, my grandma and my aunt all in the same weekend. Mum and dad weren't together. And we somehow managed to get pocket money off every single one of them by telling each of them that the other people hadn't given us any pocket money. So that was quite a good lie for us. Number 2, that time you stole something. It's mainly just like penny sweets. When I was at school, I used to occasionally, and I didn't do it every time, you used to be able to like put what sweets you wanted in your bag, and then you'd go up to the counter and they never looked. They would just say how much is in your bag, and I would say 10p because you could get sweets for 10p then, and actually there would be like 12p or 13p's worth in there. So sorry. Number 3, a confrontation you had with a teacher. I had a history teacher who basically ruined my confidence in education by telling me that I was stupid in front of the rest of the class. But we used to have to write our own reports and then the teachers would have to write their half. So when I wrote our report, my half of the report, I basically wrote that he was an absolutely awful teacher, he hadn't taught me anything, and that I thought he should look at his teaching techniques better. And I had to rewrite my report, even though I was saying like the truth. So that was a confrontation. There were quite a few, I'll be honest. I wasn't very good at school. Number 4, the best gift ever. My 19th birthday, I was living in London and I had this absolutely tiny bedroom, and my husband bought me a TV, one that was literally like this big, and he carried it all the way from Watford, like on a train as well, to my house in Kew in London, and he must have carried it like a mile from the station to my house, and it was one of the best presents I've ever had, and it's still upstairs, still working, although the tape player, the VHS bit, doesn't work so well anymore. But it was one of the best presents I've ever had, and the fact that he went to so much effort to like bring me that TV was lovely. Number 5, a time you tricked a sibling. There were quite a lot of these. I'm just trying to think of something I can actually tell you. I did once tell, it's not my sibling, my cousin. She threw my doll down the stairs in her house when I was staying there, and so I told her and her brother and her little sister that there was going to be a child war and all the children were going to come and fight them, and they believed it, and apparently the little boy her brother had nightmares for a really long time. I'm kind of sorry, but I'm kind of not sorry because she did throw my doll down the stairs. Number 6, your boyfriend / girlfriend cheated. My boyfriend, I don't think, no boyfriend has ever cheated on me, to my knowledge. That time you broke up with a good friend. Me and my best friend broke up over a boy. We had a really like tumultuous time. We'd been friends, and we have been friends since I was 9 and she was 8, and we've been really good friends until 1999 when we went away together, and it turned out she was dating a guy who I'd like snogged a few times, and I didn't like the guy. He wasn't nice to her, he wasn't a nice guy outwardly. He was a nice guy once you got to know him, but otherwise he just wasn't a very nice person, and I didn't like her being with him, and we didn't speak for probably about a year because of this guy, but we're still best friends now, so woo! Number 8, a time you embarrassed yourself playing sports. Well, when I was 14, I was quite good at high jump, and once I really pushed myself and I went flying backwards over the bar, and I hit my knee in my nose, and there was just blood everywhere, which was quite embarrassing. Just blood. I had like cups of it, and all my friends had like their hands cupped with my blood. I don't know why they didn't just drop it on the floor. Number 9, a story about how you got your pet. Now I'm going to tell you a story about how we got Bruce, who's no longer with us sadly. He died earlier this year, but Bruce and Bella were brother and sister, and we wanted a cat, and we didn't want two, we wanted one cat. And we went to the cat rescue and I said, I don't want a ginger cat. The main thing is, I don't want a ginger cat. And we walked in and this little ginger cat, he just stopped at my feet and he was about this big. And he stopped at my feet and he looked up at me and went, meow. I was like, damn you, ginger cat. So he came home with us and his sister as well because we couldn't leave her there by herself. Number 10, a holiday catastrophe. Now this wasn't really a catastrophe, but more, we went on holiday with like loads of our family, and my aunt I think had just split up with a boyfriend, and she was really, really miserable, and she basically managed to make like everyone miserable at some point during that holiday, but it wasn't really a catastrophe. I don't think we've had any holiday catastrophes to my knowledge. Number 11, that time you tried out for something. I did once try to be Juliet in a play and I didn't learn my lines and it turned out it was quite a big play, and the girl who got the part of Juliet then became an actress and author, but you know, I didn't want that anyway. Number 12, something that happened while camping. Now this was when I was a kid and me and my sister went camping with my dad, and we were up having a midnight feast, and we had two dads who'd gone to bed and they were asleep, and me, my sister and my friend, and we were just sat around talking, and I hit the table and I kind of went ow, and my sister said, you don't know your own strength. Hit the table, her chair like collapsed up on her and she went sideways off onto the floor, and I literally wet myself laughing, like right outside where my dad was sleeping, but it was very, very funny at the time. A vacation mishap. I can't really think of one. When my husband and I went on holiday to Greece a long time ago, neither of us wear a watch, so we did have to like keep checking the time by going into shops and buying stuff so that we could see what the time was on the receipt, so we didn't miss buses and things. Number 14, the day that everything went wrong. Well, that's probably like since having, oh, I tell you when it was. It was when I was pregnant with my son, and I'm not a very emotional person at all, and I'm relatively rational, and I couldn't eat when I was pregnant. I really couldn't eat anything. I lost so much weight when I was pregnant, and I finally fancied some food and I wanted some lettuce. So I was cutting the lettuce and there was a caterpillar inside the lettuce, and I threw the lettuce on the floor and I burst into tears, and I couldn't obviously eat the lettuce because like I was convinced there was caterpillar goo on it. And yeah, it was just a most hideous day, and I spent the day in tears, and every time I told anyone the story about the lettuce I burst into tears. And then I watched EastEnders and Wellard, who is a dog, died, and I was in tears again. So that was a day when everything went wrong, but largely because I was very hormonal, I think. That's all the questions. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, give us a thumbs up. If you'd like to, then please subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Alright, bye.